is the Commandant of the Atlantic Seas, Captain of the East Coast, your premier puffer right now, Hungry Body. Oh, he whistled it!
Wow!
Whistled it into
of
an
it.
up smash kick. Unbelievable. That is something you don't see every day.
Damn, in the back of the head. That is rude.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Upset. This is what we wanted to see today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Directional Influence episode 30, brought to you by VVV Gaming. I am your host, Rapture, and with me here tonight, my two awesome co-hosts, finally back together in a nice little pair so we can all have the three of us on the show. Matt, aka PD, and Will. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing just grand.
Awesome, and Will, how about you?
I'm pretty good. What's good, everybody?
We are doing great, obviously, as we just heard. And today for episode 30, here on this mighty fine last week of April, I believe, or around there, the last time of April, whatever, we're going to be talking about a few things. First off, we got some news, and then we got some tournament report, and then we got some discussion. That's like the crux of our entire episode. First, we're going to be talking about the VGC and the Wii 2 being confirmed. After that, we'll be talking about Uprise of Long Island number 3, which both myself and Will were at and participated in. Matt was lazy, so he decided not to go because he's a lazy crackhead. And, no, he doesn't smoke crack. Do you smoke crack, Matt?
Only on weekends.
Only on weekends. Well, that happened to be the time when Long Island 3 was happening, so we know why he wasn't there. And then after that, we're going to be talking about the New York, New Jersey power rankings. For those of you who don't know, Matt is on the panel, and Will is power ranked as of today at number 7. Congrats, Will. Yay.
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 Yeah.
Woo. So we're hyped. We're going to be talking about that tonight, so stay tuned for episode 30 of Directional Influence. Alright everybody, so we want to get you guys quick with some latest news in gaming and all of that. First off, last week we talked about the Wii 2, or Project Cafe. I believe we did that last week. Yeah, we did. So this week we've been all abuzz about the fact that Nintendo has confirmed the existence of the rumored Wii 2, aka Project Cafe, which I believe they did refer to it as that. So all of the rumors... the tablet controller thing, the HD, the power of a 360, the backwards compatibility, all of that, all the more likely, Wii 2 will be both making an appearance and playable at E3 this year. So Nintendo really coming off of a both the 3DS release and losing a lot of money. They're like, all of their profits have like dropped like 66% since like last year. So they've actually really need to step it up because everybody owns a Wii, so nobody's buying them anymore. You know, like everybody owns one, so unless they're buying doubles. And so now we have Project Cafe coming out. Apparently, Rapture Studios, Rockstar have development kits already. You know, Ubisoft and EA probably do too, as well as other first-party, second-party, and third-party developers and publishers. We'll probably have them. The console is hype, and that'll be coming very soon. E3 is coming up this June, so it's actually, or July. It's coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Along with that, for competitive news, for those of you who play Pokemon out there, because I know several of you do. A lot of you do, and I do too as well. The Video Game Championships have been officially announced in terms of the United States qualifiers, nationals, and the World Championships. So if you guys are interested in hitting that up, I know Smogon.com has the listings for that. PokemonVGC.com has the listings for that. And there will be qualifiers around the country. I myself will be attending the Meadowlands one, which is the last qualifier that's on June 18th. The competitive format is doubles, 4v4, but you play with a team of 6. So you pick from out of that 6, you pick 4. And I'll be there, so hit me up if you're going. Like I said, you can check out the dates and locations. It goes in like a cycle sort of thing, so West Coast ends up going first, and then it loops around, and East Coast goes last. So if you're on the West Coast, I believe the first event is actually at the middle or end of May, so you actually don't have a lot of time as compared to what I do. So please hit that up. And any other news, guys? I really can't think of any newsworthy news.
That's about it as far as gaming goes.
Yeah, I'm actually really psyched for Nintendo at E3 because, obviously E3 is always like one of the best things to look forward to for just for a casual gamer in general every year. And I thought Nintendo had an awesome E3 last year, and
They did.
this year it's seeming with the new. I don't know how next generation it's going to be in terms of graphics, but it kind of is the next generation of their consoles, so it's going to be pretty hype.
Yeah, definitely.
The way Nintendo, at least from what I saw in the few links I've clicked around, just the past couple days, is that they've actually really been trying to get their hardcore, if you want to call it that, base back. And I mean, we've seen games like Kirby Epic Yarn, which I'm sure it was fun and all, but I mean, you can't die in the game. So, I mean, these games that are insanely easy and people are calling for harder games, and I think Nintendo is actually trying to answer some of these, calls from what used to be their base, because as you said, I mean, their profits have dropped because you buy a Wii and it just kind of sits there. So hopefully we buy this new whatever cafe and
Starbucks.
Yeah, Starbucks.
In my case, my Wii sits in my trunk.
Yeah,
it doesn't leave. It's like, oh, I don't have to take it out of my trunk, so I can go to tournaments, and it's more convenient. All right, sleep.
Yeah, mine's in my backpack all the time.
So is mine.
I rarely take it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully we see some sick titles.
Yeah, I think Nintendo sort of realized that pleasing the hardcore crowd isn't releasing a Mario game every month and releasing a Metroid or Donkey Kong game every 3 years. I don't think that's working out for them. So I'm interested to see what they do with Project Starbucks or whatever, Nintendo Starbucks. And hopefully it does live up to it, because it's interesting. Now that we have a new console, that means new games. And we're all crossing our fingers for Super Smash Bros. 4. As much as Brawl came out in 2008, it probably wouldn't come out until 2012, 2013, which is a pretty good amount of time. I mean, I just like new games, regardless of the fact that the Brawl competitive community really hasn't gone completely far, even though we all reference 2008. But yeah, there's a lot of hype behind that. So obviously you guys can check out all of the interwebs about all of those things we just mentioned. I know IGN and GameSpot have a lot about that, and then of course we'll be keeping you all up to date on the news when it comes out, because that's what we do here at DI. Alright guys, so this past weekend, I myself and Will both attended the Uprise of Long Island number Tray, or Trace, or 3, or whatever, hosted by Vinny. I know Coontail sort of listed there, but Vinny hosts it, and he does a great job hosting it. Shoutouts to Vinny. And so Will, I mean, we were there. The venue actually opened on the right time, which was good because it did the week before. And yeah, it was interesting because the Uprise of Long Island 2 was the Saturday before that. So both me and Will were also at that tournament, but that one wasn't as hype as this one. There was actually a lot more people there, a lot of new faces too, which was interesting.
Oh yeah, this one was a lot of fun. There were at least 5 to 10 people who I've never seen before.
Exactly, yeah.
That's hype. Like, somebody has been out there listening to our episodes or something, or somebody's like recruiting people on Wi-Fi. Like, I don't know how this happened, but there's like a whole bunch of new people on the Long Island scene, and it's very, very encouraging.
It was. We finally had some new faces. One of which got 9th out of nowhere
on his first tournament.
SGTW. I don't know what that stands for, but he's a Peach player, and I played him in losers bracket, and he dominated me pretty well. Not that I'm really hard to beat, but he was actually a pretty solid player for the first tournament. So shoutouts to him for doing really, really well. And then, of course, there were other new faces. So a D2D player, some Mennonites. For some reason, Marth decided to be like the most popular player of this tournament. For some reason,
everybody was going Marth.
Cheese went Marth against people for some reason. But anyway, so it happened this past Saturday, Valley Stream, Long Island, hosted by Vinny. We had guys like, Vinny there, ADHD. So we had, New Jersey show up. And then, of course, the main Long Island, New York City players. It was a lot of fun seeing everybody there. Shoutouts to Gunblade for being awesome, by the way. I love Gunblade. He was there.
Yes. Gunblade is amazing.
He is awesome.
He's the main New Jersey attendee for me because he makes the event hype and fun. And
he does.
ridiculous.
He's a lot of fun.
I agree.
And he's mad nice. And he kept me motivated in my first win in bracket in a long time in singles. He kept me what?
Who did you end up playing? Who did you beat?
I don't know.
You don't even know.
Some one of the new guys. What's it called? So when I played. Oh, he played Mennonite.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah,
that
he
match.
was on the new Mennonite. Yeah, Gunblade, and for some reason, all right, here's what went down in terms of my perspective. So when I get there, whatever, I played doubles with Tony T. The thing was that people didn't show up until after doubles, which meant the over 20 people that were there for singles. Most of them were not there for doubles, actually. So there were only...
Yeah, there were 4 teams and 27 entrants into singles.
Yeah, so everybody decided to show up after doubles. Why? I don't know. Doubles would have been a lot more fun without it. Me and Tony T got, booty raped, but it was actually a lot of fun. We played, everybody that beat us, so whatever. But then in singles, I played my first match against a Mennonite main... I can't remember his name, but I had been friendlying him earlier, and he was with some of the new players. He played Wi-Fi, I guess, and it was funny because during the match he kept saying how good I was or something. I was like, wow, someone actually thinks I'm good. They can't wait to let them see everybody else. And everybody was watching for some reason. There were a good.
It was the first tournament match, and it was on the main TV. So everyone was just standing there already, and then it was oh, it's a tournament match? Let's watch.
Yeah, and it was pretty much everyone was watching me beat him with Kirby, and the kid kept attacking my shield and getting shield grabbed, and then when I would throw him away...
You weren't just beating him, you were trolling him.
I kept taunting after all of my attacks. And
he kept running into your grab. You just sat there, and you just grabbed him. So many times.
Well, I don't remember if the first match was on I think Smashville or something, and then he counterpicked me to Final Destination. That was the first time I'd ever been counterpicked by an MK against Kirby to FD. I was I
think the first game might have been on Lilat.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah. The first match went to Lilat because he said I could pick whatever I wanted. So I picked Lilat because I guess he didn't know how striking or something.
That's that preemptive counter pick.
Yeah, I counterpicked him before, on game 1, I counterpicked him to Lilat, and which is my favorite go-to counterpick stage besides Frigate because I just troll people with the tip of the stage that tilts. So I was well, he's Mennonite, so it's not going to get much, but I was just going to troll him with that. So I beat him on Lilat, you're right, and then he kind of picked me to Final Destination, which okay, and I literally sat in the middle of Final Destination, and he kept just attacking me, getting shield grabbed. Then I'd down throw him and he'd pop into the air. He would down air, get shielded, and then get regrabbed. So I beat him there. And then Minty was actually sitting right there, next to me, almost pretty much. He was sort of right there. So Minty ended up playing me in round 2, so he came right over, and then everybody watched that. And that ended up being Ice Climbers versus Kirby, and that pretty much devolved into me trying to Kirby side Minty for every single stock because I just couldn't really do anything else. He's the best Ice Climbers that doesn't main Ice Climbers. He's the best main for Ice Climbers. It doesn't main them.
I think it was the first time he used them in tournament, and he outplaced certain Icy's main. just saying.
Yeah. So I lost to Minty there. I go to losers, and then I played random Peach main number 3, and he beat me. So I was all right, cool. And I played a lot of friendly, so it was fun. Will, what about you? How was your tournament bracket experience?
Well, I did wish that more people entered doubles, but it was pretty hype because since our respective teammates weren't able to make it, me and Vinny decided to team for the first time ever. In 3 years, we've never teamed, and we've never really had chemistry in doubles. But we played like a few matches the night before in our Smash Fest at Rizm's house. I don't even know how to pronounce his tag. Sorry, RizMF, I guess we'll say. At that Smash Fest, we did really well versus like Inui and Pierce in friendlies after like getting annihilated in the beginning. But yeah, like on this little bit of chemistry, we just barely started working. We did actually really well. We took ADHD and RJ to game 5 in winners finals, and then we lost. And then back in grand finals, we took them to set 2 game 5, and we lost. Like, it's very upsetting to go that far and lose, but just a little, some unfortunate things happen in doubles. But Vinny is definitely godlike, and he kind of carried me because DK just planks and gets a few hits in here and there. So, and in singles, there was one notable upset that was kind of amusing. The set itself should have been recorded, but they didn't. They could have recorded it, but they didn't. It was Vinny versus John Numbers. Vinny decided to go Ice Climbers versus John Numbers, who is actually he's known to be good at that matchup in the Lucario versus Ice Climbers matchup.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't exactly remember game 1, but I'm assuming, John, he just played it right, and he, I guess, camped those down airs or whatever the hell Lucario does to Ice Climbers. And game 2 was like ridiculous. There was a part where Vinny blizzarded Lucario, and Lucario countered, but what happened is that Lucario ended up taking the damage anyway, and it was like a double blizzard on him. And all you see is just like when the 2 blizzards hit at once and like the whole screen like goes white and there's just like snow everywhere. But the lines from Lucario's counter were seen through that, which according to John Numbers, because he knows every miscellaneous detail about Brawl, was because those lines take precedence over every graphic in the game. And he's just like explaining this to us. I don't know. It was really weird whatever happened.
His superhero tone of voice.
Yes, of course.
You can always know when he's talking, though. Like, it doesn't matter what he's saying. You know it's him talking.
Oh, he's known for that. Yeah, you can hear him from like a mile away, just from his super heroic voice.
Yeah.
Something retarded happened, and like Vinny's like Nana. No, it was actually his Popo because he was playing as Nana. So maybe has something to do with it. But anyway, that match on FD was like retarded. It was crazy, and so John ended up taking the set 2-0, and Vinny ended up ripping through losers anyway. But because of that, instead of me having to play Vinny, I played John Numbers in winter semis, which was like, oh, all right. So I made sure that I think my bracket was Zorai, RJ, and then John Numbers, and then I had to play ADHD. And I took him to game 5, but he trolled the shit out of me in that set. He beat me game 1 legit after I had like a total lead and I choked at the end. I was actually up like an entire stock the whole game. And then I counterpicked him to Yoshi's, was beating him that game, and then on his last stock when I went for like an edge hog I just went for the quick edge grab so that I could punish him with an up air. When I went for the runoff edge snap, he jumped from the edge and footstooled me. And I guess I didn't react, and I died. There's just a whole bunch of shenanigans. And he went Fox and Toon Link. He went Fox on me when I took him back to Yoshi's and I beat him. Then he took me to Rainbow Cruise and went Toon Link. He was just trolling everybody. Like, if he didn't want to go Diddy Kong very much that day. I know in ADHD set versus Tony T, he went D game 1, which is kind of a slap to the face of Lucario mains. Yeah. I don't know. It was crazy. People were just throwing out all different characters. Wyatt was trolling everybody. If you look at his characters,
he kept going Toon Link for no good reason.
He went Toon Link. He went D. He went some other character probably. He went Fox.
It was established that I think by RJ or somebody that everything that ADHD uses except his Diddy it sucks. Like, his everything sucks except Diddy. Which, I mean, you can be me, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I thought everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was
Apparently
actually
ADHD doesn't.
it was almost completely proven in his set versus Cheese, because game 1 he went Toon Link, and it was actually kind of close, but we came to last stock, and it was like low percent one stock, Cheese wins. Then he counterpicks him to FD with Diddy Kong, and he styled on him more than I've ever seen someone styled on. Yeah. Diddy Kong versus Ice Climbers. It was like a combo video.
It really was.
It was definitely a 3 stock, and I remember, I quote, Cheese said, "I think this is probably the saltiest I've ever been in my entire life, because of something that happened that all 3 stocks, he separated Ice Climbers perfectly, like banana comboed Nana into back throw, full jump, wait for her to jump into his dare, every single stock, and it was just bad."
Yeah.
But that's Wyatt in that matchup, though.
I remember Cheese telling me that he was saltier than the McDonald's fries he was eating earlier. I was like, that's pretty salty. But in terms of the results, everybody, ADHD took first, a solid $135. So for using Toon Link and DDD and Mennonite and Diddy. And then Vinny, Will, Minty, shouts to Minty, being awesome. Then John Numbers, Cheese trying to be Atomisk here, going Ice Climbers, Falco, DDD, Mennonite, and Marth. The Long Island, New York City Atomisk. And then Penta was listed with Ganondorf. See, here's the thing with these results is that apparently Vinny had to list every single character that everybody used regardless of whether or not they won with them. And really? I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know if Penta actually won with Ganondorf, but he's listed
he used Ganon?
He used Ganon in doubles, and he used him in singles too. But for some reason, he's not listed with Ganondorf in doubles, but he is in singles with Ganondorf Game & Watch. And then he's followed by RJ, Gunblade, Rapture. By the way, Rapture, like, isn't that bad of a player. Like,
his Yoshi's legit.
His Yoshi's actually rather legit. Followed by SGTW, the Peach I was talking about earlier. Then Pain. Zorai, who is, by the way, like, the quietest troll ever. Like, he trolls on Lilat with Marth for some reason.
Oh, Matt, by the way, I'm not going to be calling it the Minty anymore. It's called the Zorai.
Oh.
Yeah, Zorai is...
He uppies about 10 times more than Minty does.
He does. Yeah, he really
that's
does.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, Zorai's main move is uppy. And then he was followed by Mr. Eric, not the R.O.B main, and not the other. Apparently there's 3 Mr. Erics. I don't know the other one. But he was one of the new players. He's also a Marth player. And then he was followed by Coontail, Tony T, Nen. I don't know who that... He's a new player.
I'm not sure who Nen is.
Yeah, Nen, who nobody knows who he went. Bimo, who's also a new player. Mage, who went Link and Marth. Another new player, Chef Fox. Then me. And again, I was listed with Pokemon Trainer Kirby. But I only used Kirby to win. I used Pokemon Trainer in Game 2 against SGTW once. So, like, for some reason I was listed with Pokemon Trainer. I guess it's because no one reps Pokemon Trainer except Coontail over here, so, like, let's get that rep.
Oh, yeah, Coontail had that hype set with the Fear.
Yeah,
GSS that went pretty close.
Yeah, Sama got... What? Sama got...
Absolutely salty you lost versus Peach with Pokemon Trainer.
I honestly, Peach is the bane of my existence. I lost in loser's bracket to a Peach at Tier 5, and then I lost again in loser's bracket
go
to
Charizard.
I actually did kill him with Charizard. That was my only kill. And then
Charizard
I think
absolutely destroys.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, well, I suck, so whatever. But then Sama got with Luigi Storm. Oh, Storm. That's who I beat. That's the Meta Knight I beat.
Matt, are you hearing all these new names? Like, have you heard of any of these people?
I've never heard of any of these
The thing is, like, a lot of them were, like, Wi-Fi players, or they were, like, pretty legit, like, entering a tournament for the first time.
I mean, this is pretty hype to me.
Yeah.
All these new names, because I really don't see a lot of new names on Long Island anymore.
Yeah, and then we got Nuker, who goes Diddy. He's been around. And then Broccoli, nobody knows who he went. Birdman and Fear. So, yeah, there were actually a lot of new players. I was really happy about that. A lot of diversity. You got to see the Zoosuit Samus main, a DDD main, fuck Marth. There's too many Marths. But there are a lot of new players, so I gotta step it up so I don't get passed by these new players. But
we're actually moving that tournament series, the Uprise of Long Island. We're moving that to Game Table because the venue that we were currently at is too small.
Way too small.
We didn't expect to get for a local tournament a turnout that would be big enough for us to move, but this is good news because we're actually moving back to Game Table.
Yeah.
Because we need more space. So we can even have more people next time.
Which is great. Yeah, I mean, like, the Uprise 2, that was good for the amount of people we had. We had 14 people or something. This was
27 in singles. Yeah. I don't even know if everybody entered, but...
Yeah, we had a lot of people in singles, so that was really good. Just more people got to enter doubles. Whatever. And then... So that was really fun. I'm going to try and hit up 4. Hopefully we get as many people or more. That'd be really hype. But, we're going to look forward to it. Matt, you better go and stop being lazy and smoking crack. But
oh, by the way, last but not least, get at me for taking Mage's place in the random singles tournament and beating John Numbers Meta Knight round 1 with Ganon. In random singles, I got Ganondorf versus his Meta Knight, and I beat him.
Shout out to John Numbers.
He beat me in the set, though, because my random sucks dick, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. But yeah, Ganondorf was the man of the hour. Verm wasn't there, and I saw a lot of Ganondorf. But yeah, so that was fun. If anyone's in the area, definitely check out Uprise of Long Island 4. That will be not March, what am I talking about? May 28th, right? May 28th, 2011, at Game Table in Mineola, Long Island, New York. Please hit that up. It'll be fun. We'll all be there. And I'm convincing Vinny to do commentary, so I'll probably be doing commentary since I'll probably lose anyway. So that'll be fun. So yeah, check it out.
All right, so power rankings. Love them, hate them, whatever. Every region has them. Okay, so New York, New Jersey, for those of you who've been under a rock, have combined into one power ranking as of a season or two ago, and we've got a pretty stacked power ranking that just came out today, as we said before. Will being on the power ranking, and let's see if I can get this right in front of me because I actually exited out of it. We've got Anti at number 1, who really barely actually got over Vinny this season. That was probably one of the most debated spots. And ADHD right under Vinny with a lot of solid wins this season. We have Atomisk at 4th. Him and Malcolm were up for a little bit of debate, but Atomisk ended up having a couple more solid wins than Malcolm, and he also had the head-to-head because, as we know, Atomisk is the absolute bane of Malcolm's existence. And we have Pee-wee right under Malcolm at number 6. Pee-wee, for those of you who have been living under a rock once again, is a really talented player from New Jersey, and he managed to take 6th this weekend with wins over people like Atomisk. He even beat ADHD in a money match once. And under that we have our boy Will with Donkey Kong, of course. Also a lot of solid wins. And Inui right under him with mainly due to his he had a lot of bad losses this season, and that really hurt him with Cheese, ever the active busy bee, attending every tournament he possibly can. So of course he managed to rack up a load of great wins and decent wins alike this season. And under that we have J-Tails, who has not been ranked on the combined rankings yet, and he managed to find his way on here by winning a tournament in New York. For those of you, it was a little underground, but he did manage to beat players like Ninja Link, Pat G. He had a couple more decent wins, and that put him at 10. And we have the honorable mentions: RJ, Ninja Link, John Numbers, Penta, Minty, and Delta this season were the honorable mentions. While we did talk about the rankings, of course, this season, there's things that go along with rankings, like the rules on getting ranked and et cetera, et cetera. So we actually did have a bit of a debate, and it led me to, think of an idea of we should actually discuss a little bit on DI about what we think and what you guys think, because we always like like your comments, should be, the rules for being ranked. And even if we should, despite having different panels, even if we might combine like the rules, so the rules of getting ranked in all different regions are similar, so we could get something more like the unified rule set together. So the first thing that was really the heated discussion about was, it's been on the plate for a while, and we pretty much discuss it every season, no matter what. But it is the discussion as to whether or not money matches should count for power ranking. So I've been talking for a while. So why don't Will and Rapture give their opinions on this first?
All right. Well, I know for a fact that Anti posted it in this very thread, saying that, he doesn't think that money matches really should count as much as tournament, because for the highest level, money matches are still, they can be just a means to, for some people, they really want the win because they know it'll count if it's at least $5 or more, depending on what the rules are in your region. But for for the topmost players, they could just be using it as a means to learn you. And it's they make all this money anyway, so they'll pay $5 to learn your habits, type of a thing. I don't know. There's so many ways to look at it. But Anti said himself that he has 4 wins on Ally in money matches, but he's never beaten him in tournament. And that's mainly his argument. And it's kind of a, it's an entirely different setting. A money match is a super serious, friendly set where you really want to make the money, but at the same time there's not as much pressure as there is in tournament where you just cannot lose, type of a thing. I love money matches personally, and I am a culprit of getting a lot of ranking points in getting money matches, as long as they're considered a valid means of being ranked, because I'll pretty much challenge anybody. I'm not going to turn down a money match. So it's a good way to get wins. But in certain regions, I don't know, it's been debated in the past where should it be at least $5? Should it be the entry amount of the tournament so that it counts, for the same amount of a win? Should it be at least $10? I would actually be a little discouraged if money matches didn't count. They should not count nearly as much as tournament matches. I don't know if they shouldn't count at all, though. If there's some sort of proportion or ratio that would be set up between money matches and tournament, how much they would count in proportion, I think that would be a good idea, because I think it's more of just it's a very, it's not very specific at all. It's just he beat this really good person in a money match, so I think that'll just slightly edge him over this person. But I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Rapture?
Well, from an outside point of view, I feel like power rankings at the most should really be a test of how you play overall as a player. But when you think about that, when you're playing overall as a player, you would normally think of that as playing in tournament, because that's where you show your skill. So when you come to money matches, you have to really gauge, do these count as much as a tournament match, which is what you were saying. As much as I feel like money matches are important, I don't see them in the same light as a tournament match, just because the environment itself is completely different. I think there's different things on the line, especially because a lot of people could be playing for a lot more money in terms of the entire tournament rather than for $5 or whatever. And a lot of people could take it as a friendly, and it's more of I think it sort of changes things for people too, because you have to remember, if 2 people go to a tournament and they both enter singles, they have an even amount of chance of winning first place. And I'm not talking about people that play in bracket. I'm just talking about the amount of matches they have to win, etc. They have all of a fair chance. But then you have money matches. These are things that are put together on the side by players, not necessarily by the tournament itself, rather never at all. So somebody who plays all money matches, they could still be good. Like for Will, for example. Will right now is 7th. Will is obviously a very good player. He's a top player. That's where he is where he is. But it doesn't. I don't feel like he's any less of a player if he didn't play as many money matches as somebody else. If he didn't play as many tournament matches, well, that's where you draw the line, because tournament matches, I think, are like the defined, well and true way to show how somebody's good, and money matches just have to be added into the equation. But if somebody comes around and they're a really good player, but they just don't play money matches because they don't have the money for it, or they just don't do that, they just play friendlies, I don't think that it's something to like hold against them. And I'm not saying that's the reason or that's what's actually happening, but I feel like almost too much importance is being put on money matches. Again, this is just an outside example or an opinion because I really don't know. I'm not in that situation. I don't money match people, and I'm not power ranked, nor am I a top player. So that for me, it seems like, well, if somebody gets edged out over money matches, like come on, like that's ridiculous. Because in tournament, the person's obviously doing better than player B. But player B has more money matches, so the situations are different. Yeah, I beat Ally 5 times in in money matches, but I never beat him in tournament. But tournament's really where it matters, I think.
I think, yeah, that's obviously a lot of good points there, and I agree that tournament matches should definitely hold precedence by far. And again, I still can't really decide if money matches should not count or just count a little bit. But if there could be some sort of consensus that people, that power ranking panel members can be, they could come to, it could be maybe like if 9 people are solidly ranked, or I guess if there's something, if you can solidly rank people based on tournament matches, then fine, then they're set. But for the people that are ambiguous, like the last 3 or something in the list, those you could put in, like, obviously after wins and losses in tournament, then you could look at money matches, and then
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not part of the panel, but I'm sure that's kind of what they do anyway. But I don't think, like, for the top portion of the list, that money matches should really count as much.
Yeah, I mean, in maybe one case, my bed's really creaky, but I think for 2 reasons I think money matches should be put into play. Either one, it's for people who obviously are not like as high ranked, so they sort of need that boost in terms of trying to figure out who's in the play and whatever. But in the other way, I feel like it's also good to have if for example, 2 players are really neck and neck, because then you have to look at that. But I don't feel like in a normal situation where you're just playing 2 players together, it's not really neck and neck, you're just playing them all together, whatever, and be like, well, take the tournament matches first, and then be like, okay, well, these 2 guys are pretty close, let's look at their money matches and see if they've played a lot, and that kind of thing too. Again, I don't know how the panel actually works things, but if that's not how it's done, I feel like that's a better way. Because that way you're only putting importance on the money matches if you need to. Because money matches in and of themselves already have an importance of you're making money, and it's good practice. But if you're putting them in the same, like if you're judging people from the beginning based off of money matches as long as tournament matches, you're giving money matches the exact same amount of importance as a tournament match by doing that, which I don't agree with. I don't think they're the same.
Okay, so as a panelist, what can you say based on like what we were discussing, Matt? Like, how do you guys like really base things?
Well, I can say that we did come to a conclusion in the end, and to start off, I will say that my opinion is that money matches should count for rankings. $5 money matches should count for significantly less than a $10 money match, and a $10 money match shouldn't count as much as a tournament match, but discretion can be used. And I believe that is actually the conclusion we came to at the end of the PR discussion. And my reasoning behind it is this, and you guys made really, really solid points, but a lot of the points that you guys made, particularly Dakota, are not actually the reasonings behind a lot of the PRs. Some of the members didn't want money matches on, and they didn't actually use any of those arguments. So, I mean, The main argument they used was that money matches open way to corruption, and people can, fake money matches. And
I didn't even think of that, to be honest.
yeah, I mean that was actually their.
Who thought of that? New Jersey?
Yeah, New Jersey thought of that. Yeah,
of course.
Of course they did. I mean, one member in particular even admitted to knowing that people have, and knowing that that he himself has, who will remain unnamed. But I gotta say that that is I think that a lot of the pros of money matches actually outweigh the cons by far, and that is because I feel like money matches open a new door for players to play people out of region that they've. Hold on.
Matt's roommate is on the phone. What do we do?
Oh man, this is pretty funny.
What do we do?
We can insert music here.
Obviously, I'm gonna edit it. I'm not stupid. Damn. Dumb bitch.
Okay, money matches open doorways for players to play a lot of players that they don't ordinarily play in bracket. I mean, if I am going all the way out to Genesis, which I am hype, and I play my pools, I play my bracket out, and I don't get to play. I don't get to play Rich Brown, I don't get to play Larry, I don't get to play these people simply because either I didn't get up to them in bracket or because they were not in my pool / bracket, then I would really like the opportunity to play these players and for it to mean more than, personal pride, So I feel that we really want to, properly assess people's skill level when in comparison to other regions, then we should really count these matches because, I mean, really what, a PR is saying is that, hey, other regions, these are really good players. You should watch out for them. If you're seeding a bracket, then you should, put these people higher in the seeds so they don't play better players early on. I mean, really, in order to properly assess skill level, to me, you have to be able to account for these. And I mean, another really big argument used by those against money matches counting for rankings is that people don't take money matches seriously enough, which I agree with to an extent. But I also feel that as a panel, we have to really, drill into people's minds that if we're counting money matches, then you should probably take them more seriously. And honestly, I don't understand why you're not taking them seriously in the first place. I mean, I can understand that a $5 money match shouldn't count as much as, a $10 money match would. And a $10 money match is not the same thing as a tournament, win to me still. But, I mean, there's something to be said about two players putting money on the line, similar to you what you would do if you put it, you gave it to the TO and entered a tournament. There's something to be said for that. And I mean, I think that we should honestly give people credit for that. And as far as, people not really money matching, I mean, I know Malcolm doesn't money match a lot. I know there are a lot of players who just don't really like money matches. And I mean, to me, they kind of have to just accept that. I mean, that, if they might get edged out by somebody who does play money matches. I mean, Malcolm doesn't play money matches, and he still managed to, work his way up to the 5th spot. So, to me, like Will said, I mean, it really helps in, there was a lot of close calls this season in particular. I mean, Malcolm, if he money matched, a couple people that he didn't get to play in tournament, he might have been able to, maybe edge Atomisk out this season, because they were actually relatively close, although Atomisk did have, a few more wins than him. So, I mean, money matches would have been beneficial to him in that scenario. And it really gives players who, A, just either don't get to travel a lot or don't attend very many things, and it also, gives players who don't see other players very often. And that goes for all of us on the East Coast who, rarely get to see people like Mike Hayes, Larry, all the top West Coast players, all the top Texas players, all the top Midwest players. And we don't get to see these people very often. So it gives them a chance to get wins over these people. And that was my main argument, as well as the fact that I have always said that power ranking panels are not robots. You don't insert your wins into a machine and it prints out, the rankings. I mean, we have people on a panel for a reason, and we can, easily, I mean, we're all friendly with each other. We can easily, say, I think that this should count for this, and we can easily reach a conclusion because it's been put in our hands because we're reasonable people. And I can easily say that that the entire panel is filled with reasonable people, level-headed. I mean, honestly, if you look at some of these people, a lot of them, even the ones that are ranked like Vinny and Anti, who are on the committee, they step out of discussions that involve them, and they just correct things that are wrong, and they give level-headed opinions. I mean, Vinny even thought he should be third, but the rest of the panel agreed on that Vinny should be higher than ADHD this season. So, I mean, we're dealing with really level-headed people here. And if you put that position of trust in people, you should be able to also put that position of trust to, take something like a money match and really, the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Dissect it. To dissect it and, look to see how much it should count. Because, like I said, we're not robotic, so we can figure things out on our own. And that is my reasoning behind allowing money matches, and why I also think other regions who don't allow money matches should allow them.
And I think it would be cool to hear opinions from people from other regions and their opinions about their current power rankings and just everything, like the rules, how they're based, whether you guys accept money matches. What do you think is a good number to have? Like 10 seems to be the generally, universally accepted number, but for like some of the bigger regions, or even for some really sparse regions where like you might have a huge state, but you might have an incredibly small scene because the population concentration is super low. So maybe you even want to have a 5 or a 7 player ranking. But I mean, I don't know. I think it would be cool to hear from a whole bunch of people and give us your opinions on all this stuff.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. I feel like, because the regions are different. I think there is some states, or at least one, that doesn't have a full 10 player power ranking. That's probably one of the less active states. But so we want to hear how you guys do it. And how it all works, how your panels work. What do you guys think about this topic? Do you feel like money matches are important, not important? All of that. So let us know, and maybe we'll even have you on the show to talk about it, because it'd be a nice follow-up. So definitely. Yes, indeed, indubitably, quite. Okay, everybody, that brings us to the end of Directional Influence episode 30. So I want to thank VVV Gaming for hosting the show. I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to the show. I want to thank my co-host for helping me do the show. I want to thank Audacity for helping me edit the show, and Skype and my recording system for helping me record the show. So I want to help. We can't do this on our own. So yeah, you guys can follow us on Twitter, by the way, /VVV Rapture. On Facebook, search our group Directional Influence. For updates on when the show comes out, you'll get a message letting you know and giving you a reminder. You can also follow us on VVV. We're always posted above the shout box. We have our All Is Brawl blogs, which are usually posted by myself, Will, or PD. And then we have our thread on the General Brawl discussion board on Smashboard, so check that out as well. And of course, you can hit us up personally if you'd like to give us comments, questions, concerns, feedback, all of that good stuff. We love to hear it. And in fact, speaking of which, now that I just thought of this, I literally just thought of this. We had a very, very good comment from Usurper King Zant, who left us like an essay for a comment. What episode? It was episode 20. Was it episode 28 or 29 that he left it, and it was a very long one about We 2 and all of that. And now I can't even find it. And I'm really trying hard to not make this outro too long here, but I'm really trying to find this comment he made.
While you're trying to find that, I actually remember pretty recently that K-Sizzle asked me if there were any way to download our podcasts, and I had just remembered off the top of my head. I was like, yeah, wasn't like the first few episodes of ours like uploaded to iTunes? And I actually found a link that shows pretty much every single episode we have, including us and the Losers Bracket, uploaded to iTunes for free.
Yeah,
for download.
Yeah. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, you guys, if you guys want to download us, there's two ways to do that. First of all, on the VVV thread itself, I actually put a download link. So what you can do is you can click the thing that'll say download. It'll be between the MP3 and the box like player. It says download, and you can click that, and you'll be able to download it to your computer. But you can also search us on iTunes. That is very correct. Thank you for reminding me, Will. You can download us for free on iTunes, right to your iPod, right to your playlist. In fact, I have in every single show from the Losers Bracket and my show on my iTunes. It gets updated. You can subscribe to it, and it'll be updated immediately when the show comes out. You don't have to do a thing. So, yeah, that's actually a very good.
Listen to us in your car.
Yeah.
Car, or while you take a shower.
Any time.
K-Sizzle actually said it was because he needed something to listen to at work that wasn't music, whether that's like a professional reason or whatever.
Maybe a personal choice.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
but hey, wherever you want to listen to us, go for it.
Yeah,
you can download us.
That's actually pretty convenient that your iTunes auto updates, and I mean, you can choose to sync that to your iPod or not.
You can choose to do that.
That's just another way for you to join us on DI every week.
Yes. So, by the way, Usurper, I can't find your comment. It's really long, but I know it was really awesome, and it was about the console and the tournaments and stuff. But it was on like episode. Yeah, what was that last week's episode? Yeah. So thank you for writing us that comment. I apologize we couldn't take the time to comment on it, but it was a very awesome comment. So thank you for doing that. So yeah, that is the end of the episode. I want to give shout outs to everyone who listens to us.
I found it.
You just found it? I actually just found it as I said that too. Such a long comment. We will, if we ever get to it, we will. But it's an amazing comment. I thank you for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that.
We're going to keep talking about the week.
We're going to keep talking about this week.
The new week.
So we will come back to it. So we'll come back to you, King Zant. And by the way, yeah, shout out to everybody who's listening to us. It's been 30 episodes, guys. And, I mean, we're actually closing in on our 1 year of doing this show.
That's half of 60.
Yeah, it is. It is half of 60. That makes 30. Thanks for that math. Like, what the hell? And yeah, I want to thank all you guys for doing this. It's been an amazing time doing this. And speaking of which, I want to actually propose something to the rest of you guys here. And this may be just a thing I just came up with from something I heard from a long time ago. But VVV Gaming is actually doing its own Justin.tv stream. And it'll be having StarCraft 2 and Call of Duty, Brawl, all of these things being streamed, pre-recorded things. And it is in the works, possibly, but you may see Directional Influence live for the first time on that stream sometime in the near future.
Hype.
Yep. That is hype right there. So if you guys want to learn more about that, keep listening because we'll probably have news on that in the coming weeks. We're going to try and get that ironed out so you guys can watch us as we do the show raw and live almost like Day 9's shit, because he's my man, by the way. Shout out to Day 9 for being an awesome StarCraft 2 commentator. So yeah, that is the end of Directional Influence episode 30. I thank you guys for listening. I hope you all enjoyed it, got information and the lulls and all of that good stuff. And we'll be seeing you guys next week on episode 31, where I know we probably have some people lined up. I I apologize to everybody who wants to be on the show, but it's a lot. So,
shout outs to Cheese for having the tech skill of an orange.
oh my god, I forgot about that.
The tech skill of an orange.
Yeah, shout outs to Cheese. Shout outs to Cheese for buying me lunch too.
What a nice guy.
Shout outs to me for buying you a drink.
Yo, I mooched so much of that tournament. Holy crap.
It's alright, you gave me quite a few pieces of Trident Layers. So.
That's true. I paid you in Trident Layers.
Speaking of which, I have one right now that I'm gonna chew. So
yeah, that shit's so good. Like,
sweet deal.
It's so good. Yeah, paid people in Trident Layers.
Of course you can pay me in gum.
Exactly. So anyway, we'll see you guys next.
And if you want to be on the show, hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. I know we got Pelka that wants to be lined up. The Smash Lab people like Bionic, they hit me up.
We should have them on the show.
You know what we should have on them on the show? Maybe we'll see them next week. Hype. So we're gonna end this now because we've been sort of rambling, and it's late. So with that said, I thank you all for listening to Directional Influence episode 30. Next week is episode 31, which is always hype because it always is, because it's DI. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.